Alrighty, let's do this with no editing because I just want to give you guys the update. So I promised you an update on my semaglutide, however you say it, journey. For those who have followed me, you know that last year, which was what, 2023, for 8 months, I did the injectable compounded semaglutide with a local doctor here in my area. And in 8 months, I lost 54 pounds. That's 54 pounds in 8 months. It was miraculous. And then, of course, it got too pricey. November of last year, I stopped. So earlier this year in 2024, it was around my birthday. It was around April. I was like, okay, let me go back on it because I gained weight back. Just about, I don't know if I gained everything I lost. Maybe I didn't gain it all back, but I was gaining weight back. So I thought, okay, let me go back on the injectables. And I should have gone with Henry Meds, but I was being like impatient. I didn't feel like setting up an appointment. You pay for it first on Henry Meds, which I've started now, thankfully. But earlier, a few months ago, in April, I had just gone back to my local doctor and got more injectable semaglutide. And I only did one injection, the lowest dose, 0.25, whatever it is. That kind of gets a little convoluted, just like I started last year. But this year, I got so violently ill, so sick. Oh, it was horrible. So I said, I'm never doing those injections again. But then I was like, look, I still want to lose weight. I don't want to creep back up to my highest weight, which was 212 pounds. I don't know when I hit that. Maybe that was last year. Maybe that was when I first went on it. I don't know. I'm like 5'10", 5'11", but still 212 is just too much for me. I don't feel comfortable there. I feel more comfortable in the 150s. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing those injectables with my local doctor, but I see that Henry Meds has compounded semaglutide in these oral tablets. Let me try and get the name correct. They are actually these medical GLP1 weight loss sublinguals. You put them under your tongue. You don't have to swallow these like pills. They're absorbed in your mouth membranes. So I got them from Henry Meds. Yep. So the first weeks 1 through 4, it says place 1 tablet under the tongue and let fully dissolve once daily, 30 minutes before eating or drinking. So you have to do this in the morning. So it's cool little, you bend it down and up. And so there's supposed to be 30 pills in here. They actually gave me 32, just to show you what they look like. Oh, can you see that? They look like a little green kind of pill, and they're really not bad tasting at all. I pop them in there under the tongue. I kind of even go back to sleep when I do it. This she called the loading dose, my loading dose, because it's only 0.5, let me read it exactly, 0.5 milligrams strength. It's supposed to be 30 in here. They must have actually given me 32 because I counted them this morning. I just started this on Sunday. What was Sunday? Today's Tuesday, July 16th. So I've taken Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And with me, I automatically, I don't know if I'm super sensitive to semaglutide or what, or if it's psychosomatic or placebo effect. I know it's not all. I know it has an impact on our brain and our gut and everything, but immediately Sunday morning taking it, I could immediately almost feel the change. That's the same stuff I love about semaglutide, where people say it's the food noise quiets down. And today I was thinking, maybe that's part of it. It's not like the food noise necessarily quiets down. I just recognize my fullness and I wait for hunger cues. It's something about this medication that makes me wait to figure out when I'm truly hungry. Whereas before, I would be snack, snack, snack. I don't do that now. Amazingly, I'm already 4 pounds down in 3 days. So I took my first pill put it on my tongue, just, and it kind of tastes good. It has a nice little flavor in there, and you can only, it's not really bitter. You might taste a little something, I don't know, but I pop it under there so you can't have anything to eat or drink. You can't have your coffee yet until you wait half an hour for it to dissolve at least. And so I did that Sunday morning. I did it Monday morning. This morning I was kind of up at like maybe before 6 a.m. and I was like, I might as well just grab my pill and pop it in there. And I think I actually fell back asleep. I think you're supposed to just leave it in there 2 minutes, let it dissolve under your tongue for 2 minutes. But I don't know how long it took. So much so that I think I kind of fell back asleep. It dissolved. And I was like, look, I know I took my pill this morning, but let me make sure, because I had no taste whatsoever of the pill in my mouth when I reawakened. And so I was like, okay, let me see, did I really take it? I was like, let me count. If I really took it, I should only have 27 pills left. Turns out I have 29, so they must have given me a little extra. That's fine. So that's the loading dose, as she calls it. It's gentler for me. I think this is the way I need it, and we don't have to refrigerate these. She was telling me, I was debating on getting the sublingual liquid drops or the sublingual dissolvable tablets, caplets, whatever these are called. And I went with these because I was thinking of traveling, having these with you. It's easier, I would believe, to take on a plane as opposed to a liquid where you're worried about the ounces and putting it in the plastic bag and all that. Now this is the next dose, weeks 5 and on. The same thing, place 1 tablet under the tongue and let fully dissolve once daily, 30 minutes before eating or drinking. This is semaglutide, and it has some pyridoxine HLC, which I learned is just vitamin 6, I do believe. Yep, vitamin 6, so they compound it with vitamin 6. And this one is 1 milligram. So your first 4 weeks, it'd be like 0.5 milligrams. Then after that, 1 milligram. And I want to see, they probably look the same. It has all the cotton and stuff in there. They don't look green, they just look white. So I can show you that. I could leave the cotton in there, but the stuff they put in here, I don't know if it helps. So hopefully you can see how those look. Because I hate swallowing pills. She offered to give me, the nurse, because you'll have an appointment with a nurse if you go with Henry Meds, which I'm like, oh man, I should have gone with them in April when I was trying to go back to my local doctor and do the injections. If I'd gone with them in April, I would have gotten them, let's say if I had done it around the end of April, I would have gotten them in May, June, July almost. I would have been almost 3 months into it. But thank God it's going well. I have no nauseated feeling whatsoever. I just feel some of the symptoms like burping a little more often. Maybe a tiny bit of constipation, but once you finally go, you really go in a good, strong way, I'll say. And that, to me, helps with the weight loss. Sunday, I had even had a little glass of wine Saturday night, red wine, and I was like, oh boy, I hope that doesn't, make me get sick when I take these. Honestly, I think with the injections, with taking 1 injection per week at my local doctor, it's just too potent for me. Some people might be okay with it. Some people, it might not work at all. Like I said before, Candy Burris with the Real Housewives, she was like, it didn't work at all for me. Some people it really works for, Heather Gay with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, or different people who admit to being on it. At first Heather said it didn't work for her, but now we can tell over time it has worked for her. And that's one thing, the woman, it reminds me, the nurse at Henry Med said, just stick with it. I know she didn't expect me to lose. I'm sure she's going to be like, whoa. I'm like 4 pounds down in just 3 days. So who knows what it'll be like after a month or something. But the woman did tell me just stick with it because, go through your loading dose and then stick with it. She was preparing me to say that it's going to take time. But for me, I think my body is sensitive to it. And another thing I love about taking these dissolvables is that it's daily, it's easy. I just keep it right by Jesus, that way, right by my bedside. And it's something that's maybe more of a micro-dosed type of thing. Forgive me if you don't like swallowing. If you don't like hearing that sound, I'm trying not to be ASMR or mukbang here. But I don't want to edit this. The fact that it's a daily dose, so it's 0.5 milligrams. Now that's in the tablet form. I know if you take, what is it, ribasis? Oh, I said I was going to remember that. Ribelsis. If you take Ribelsis, those are tablet forms, but that's different. Those can be 7 milligrams, I guess, or 14 milligrams. I think those are the kind you might swallow. Ask your doctor. They will know all the different kinds. The nurse I met with at Henry Meds, I mean, it was pretty efficient. I made an appointment, so my appointment was July 8th at 11:45. And so then that same day, July 8th, after my appointment, my prescription was being processed. And I must have just gotten it in the mail to give you guys an idea about the time, since I just started on Sunday the 14th. So yeah, that's pretty quick. So I had my appointment Monday, July 8th, and I must have received it in the mail by Saturday, July 13th, just a few days later. And so I started taking it the very next day. The appointment was quick and easy, just right over, I think I did it over my MacBook or my phone, maybe my MacBook, trying to remember. And the nurse just asked questions. One thing she did use my highest weight before I started all this semaglutide taking. So I do know that was 212. And with my height, that gave me a BMI high enough to take this, like 30. I guess it must have been a BMI of 30. So, it's something I guess they want for people who, of course, don't have certain conditions, I guess like thyroid cancer or a history of that in your family or something like that. They will give you the rundown of questions where you have to make sure you are approved enough to take it. And so the appointment didn't last that long. But I did ask her a bunch of questions because I'm not familiar with the dissolvable tablet. And it's really everything I loved about my semaglutide experience last year, but even better. Like the nurse said, of course they give you the rundown of potential side effects and all that. But she was saying like most people don't have side effects. But she offered again to prescribe me Zofran, which is like an anti-nausea. I told her don't bother. I hate taking pills. I won't take it. My doctor gave it to me last year. I think I ended up throwing it away. That's how much I hate pills. Horse pills. That's why I love these dissolvable tablets. It's so easy. Some people complain like, oh, I have to wait half an hour before I can have my coffee. But if I'm rolling around and up by 6:45 or something and I just throw one under my tongue and it dissolves relatively quickly, I guess, to me that's no big whoop to wait, And that's another thing. Immediately, I still drink my coffee every morning, but I was like, I do not want to get sick. Like the nurse warned me, if you eat greasy foods, and that's why some people probably really get sick. If you're eating greasy foods, and taking this, that might increase your chance, of course, of feeling nauseated or whatever. But even though I had that glass of red wine the night before I started taking it, it was fine. Praise the Lord. I'm like, thank you, Lord. I feel like this is going to work again. I feel great. I only feel maybe just a tiny bit tired. I kind of remember that tired feeling from before, but when I go through the weight loss this time, I want to do it better. She told me drink protein drinks if you can stomach it, or, just get your protein. Try and get at least 60 grams of protein per day. Now, I don't know if I'm getting that much, but At least I'm not overeating and eating in a junky way. Immediately, I have no desire for the chocolate. There's a bowl of chocolate sitting on the kitchen counter I haven't touched since I started taking it. I don't want any ice cream. I just realized I really don't want alcohol. I mean, I could try, maybe sip. I do love champagne, so I might try. Okay, a sip, but not like a glass. I don't know about that. I'm just very cautious. And I told myself, okay, look, this really does save me money. This, I only paid $149, and that's why I really jumped on it for the first thing, because I was on Facebook or whatever, and they know how much I love semaglutide and weight loss stuff. So I saw some ad. It was like a July 4th or July 5th ad. Like, if you sign up for Henry Meds now, you know, and different medications cost different amounts. So this particular one, for this special, it was $149 for the first month, and then it should be, as I understand it, $249 every month after. So she told me, like, you know, when you do your loading dose, I think I'm supposed to finish that whole one. That'll be about a month. And then when I do my next dose, they should, I think they gave me, 30 pills, probably more than 30 in here. So I think I'd check back in. Like, as I understand it, I have to be the proactive one, you know, as opposed to my local doctor where I would make an appointment, I think it was about every month, and do the check-in, do the weigh-in, all that stuff, order more, you know, semaglutide to be injected, see if I need any needles and all that stuff. Glad that's done with. I don't have to do that. After 2 months, I guess I kind of contact Henry Meds, because they give you this Henry Meds account, if you can see that, where it has your prescriptions, and it tells you, okay, here, if the order's been received, here's your dosing instructions, here's your invoices. I have no upcoming appointments. Yeah, so my subscription started on July 4th because they were having that special, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and pay $149 for this first month and trust God for the $249 for every other month, because I didn't want to just keep eating like a maniac and gaining and gaining and gaining. And so I'm supposed to, I think when I'm close to done, maybe with my second bottle, then request an appointment. I'll speak with the nurse again, as I understand it, let her know, you know, I can do my own progress. I can weigh myself like I've been doing every morning. I track it in my Google Calendar just for my own sake. They don't ask you to do that. But then see how it's going, making sure I stay healthy, a good rate of weight loss. The nurse was telling me, oh, you'll probably, you know, only lose a pound a week or something, which is healthy. With me, I'm different. Like, when I went on semaglutide last year, you guys know, if you watched that video, I lost like 20 pounds in the first month. And this time I want to do it like the nurse says. I want to try and increase my protein, because it can make you lose muscle. And I did lose a lot of weight, and I could tell I was losing muscle. And normally back in the day, when I would just fast or eat better, I wouldn't mind losing fat and muscle, because, you know I would put it back on. This is different. So now I'm on the semaglutide. I want to be more proactive about just getting out every day like I've been doing, and at least do some landscaping, get some kind of strength training in. That's what she really talked about. You know, people think about cardio or stuff like that, but you don't necessarily want to focus on cardio. I mean, you know, do what makes you feel good, what you feel is best for you, but also don't forget the strength training. So I want to be a little more proactive about doing that. Even if I feel a little tired, I still want to just get out there and get in the sun, get in the wind. It's hot as heck today, but I still got out there and just did a few minutes worth of stuff. And I want to be more conscious about getting protein in. So what have I eaten? I skipped. Normally every morning I would eat these Jimmy Dean breakfast bowls, and they have potatoes and sausage and cheese. But one thing I know, they have a lot of fat and they are greasy. So I was like, let me skip those. So the first day on this, on Sunday, I wasn't even hungry after doing the first tablet. I still did my coffee, but I was like, oh, thank God my husband bought cashews. And I was like, let me just nibble a few cashews. I did that. And I'm trying to remember what I even ate. Oh, I remember after church, we went to Bojangles, and all I got was a perfect little garden salad with grilled chicken. And that was so satisfying with the honey Dijon mustard dressing. I was a little worried, like, will this dressing make me sick? I hate getting sick. Let me just tell you, I hate puking. So that's another reason I'm like, okay, this really helps me focus on my diet. But the thing is, this stuff, whatever is in semaglutide, it helps us do what we know to do. You know how people just say, oh, just eat right and move more, eat less, move more, just, you know, as if it's that simple. And what I love about the semaglutide is it takes away the cravings. So even though, yeah, the food noise can be reduced, and it can still be there, though honestly I still get thoughts of food because it's, I don't know, a trained behavior. Like if something's upsetting or something's whatever, and I'm just like, oh, what should I eat, or what should I eat? But now I'm like, oh, okay, wait, I'm full enough. I can wait till 2 o'clock for lunch, like what I did today. I waited till 2 and ate. And that's another thing, it saves me money. Even though it sounds like, okay, I'm spending a lot, $250 a month on this medication, I realize how much it's saving me because I ate that small little garden salad with honey Dijon mustard and grilled chicken on Sunday, and that was pretty much it the rest of the day. There was like, you know, a DoorDash order. My family member was like, what do you want from DoorDash and Dash Mart? And normally where I used to say, ooh, let me get this candy or let me get this, I was just like, I'll just take some grapes. And that was so perfect because I got this bag of grapes, but it's still sitting in the fridge because I'm only eating, like the grapes feel like a perfect dessert after a meal. So that was it pretty much Sunday, just nibbling on cashews, went to church, got a little grilled chicken salad from Bojangles with the honey mustard Dijon, and the grapes. They're also perfect because you want to keep your fiber intake in there growing. Like I know to combat the constipation also and prevent nausea, you know, it's good to stick with the salads and the chicken protein and the grapes for dessert. That's perfect for me. Or even just reaching for a Lifesavers mint or something. You know how you just want something a little bit after dinner, but now it's like I don't need some pint of ice cream after dinner. I don't need oh my goodness, I love this ice cream we have, but I don't need it. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's good, it's great, but I don't even need it. And then Monday was perfect because this is what saves me money. Monday again, I was just like chomp on a few cashews, had my coffee after, you know, the allotted time. Gives me time to work and do other things. And then I thought, oh, this is perfect, Panera. You know, why don't I just have a Panera plan? Because we have a Panera near us. They have a new drive-through. I'm like, I could go there, Lord willing, almost every day or every other day or whatever, because I don't need that much food. I ordered my husband like a cheesesteak sandwich he likes. I ordered myself a BLT and it was perfect. It automatically comes with the chips. I just left the chips in the kitchen because I'm like, they might be too greasy and I don't really need them anyway. And the sandwiches are perfect. BLT sandwich, and you know how it comes cut in half. So all I did was have, you know, the cashews and stuff, some grapes, you know, great little salty sweet snack that's still healthy. Like cashews still have a little protein, some healthy fats in there. I know they can get to be quite caloric, but it's good because when you're on this stuff, it's almost like you need the stuff to fill up your calories because you won't want to eat as much. So cashews, grapes, and then I did half of that BLT because it was great. It might have been on sourdough bread or whatever. Of course, bacon, lettuce, tomato, I don't know what kind of sauce. Great. Half of that yesterday. And then last night I was like, oh, do I want the rest of my BLT? No, I don't really want that much because it's that same feeling of knowing that semaglutide slows the rate at which the food goes out of your stomach. So another thing, you don't want to eat past your filling cues. So I kind of have this sensor like, okay, this half of BLT is enough. And I'm sitting up there saying, sit up while you eat, sit up after you eat. That might help, you know, especially with nausea or any kind of, I don't know, maybe reflux. And so I was like, I don't want that BLT last night, the rest of it. I can just nibble on a few more grapes and cashews, and I'm honestly really satisfied. So that was rather Monday night. And then Tuesday, today, oh, God bless my neighbor. He brought over, they have a fresh garden. My neighbors have given me fresh cucumbers, and my neighbors make this excellent, absolutely excellent, right on time loaf of it's a loaf about this big of zucchini bread. And the way he does it is he puts like these walnuts in there and blueberries. It is so yummy. Wraps it up in nice little parchment paper and a bag. So he brought that over last night. I was like, that's so perfect. I told him, I'm going to eat this slowly, you know. And I did. So I was like, this will be a perfect breakfast instead of me eating the greasy like eggs and sausage, and because I'm still just trying this out. That's what I did last year when I started on the injections. You know, I was going to Chick-fil-A, I was getting a salad. Eventually I added in, you know, yogurt and fruit and all that, and even started the granola or even the chocolate crumbles eventually. And, you know, even losing 54 pounds last year, towards the end, I did start eating chips and this and that because I knew like what my body could handle at that point. So I feel like I'm going through that process again with these dissolvables, taking it slowly, and it's working. I just watched Diary of a CEO. There's a woman on there, I can't remember her name. If you check out that video where she's talking about these benefits of semaglutide, I like it because she's not going to the there it is. It's from 12 days ago. The Ozempic expert. Ozempic transforms your gut. Ozempic transforms your gut microbiome. People are being overdosed on Ozempic. And I kind of see what she means. Like, I feel like they're trying to figure it out. Like, even though semaglutide, the peptide, has been around forever. She talks a lot about that. She talks a lot about the benefits of it, even benefits beyond our guts and weight loss and everything. It's like, it's a great video. You gotta watch it. It's, see if you can see if I do this. I don't know if you can see that. Might be difficult to see, but it's that one right there. Excellent. Yeah. Really good. I've been listening to that and listening to a wide variety range of opinions. This one doctor I watched on YouTube, he was talking about Ozempic too. I don't know if he was talking about overdosing, but I like the way this 0.5 is working right now. So I'll see how the weight loss continues, and then when I titrate up to the 1, hopefully that'll be no sickness or anything like that. Hopefully it'll just continue with this perfect peace I feel just in knowing, yay, you know, I can get back and feel even better again, not worry about overeating. I'm saving money because, like, let's just say that $10 BLT I bought from Panera Bread. I love Panera Bread, and their salads are like 15 bucks. Now that $10 BLT, normally if I weren't on Ozempic, you know, my hunger cues, I would have been like, eat the whole thing, eat the chips that came with it, and who knows, that would have just been one meal. But now it helps me stretch it out during the day, still getting an adequate amount of calories and like making up for the overeating I've been doing and eating on a more healthy scale, and still just getting a variety of foods. I just don't need Handles. That's the name of it. I don't need all these pints of Handles ice cream. They make it so easy. They're so good. But now that craving is gone, I just feel contentment. Like, I don't need it. I have grapes in the fridge. I can eat a few. I'm getting my fiber in. I've got that zucchini bread from my neighbor. When I want a little pinch, I can take that as a great like dessert, you know. I love whatever this stuff is doing. So I'm glad I'm back on it, you know, for if we are able to maybe do a little long weekend getaway, let's say next month or something, and just feeling more comfortable at the pool and feeling more comfortable in the clothes I already have, and you know what it's like just being online as a woman, especially a woman of a certain age. I want to put that somewhere in this title because I'm 55. There's some kind of resurgence or something going on about the benefits of being, you know, older on YouTube, over 40, over 50. Maybe I'll plop that in the title somewhere because it is different. I mean, it's a whole different vibe. Just all the stages in my life I've gone through, growing up really skinny, tall and thin, as probably many of us, never having to worry about food. If you had a metabolism like me, what do they call us? Maybe we're the ectomorphic type, I think. Tall, thin, you know, you just eat whatever when you're young, and I never really started worrying about weight that much. I mean, I remember when I got on birth control pills as a teenager, like in college, I guess. That's maybe the first time I started worrying about my weight. I could just feel like, whoa, there's a little fat back here I'm not used to. But even then, just never really worried about my weight that often. I mean, we did the little Gregory something diet, the Bahama diet, and we would do those shakes and all the stuff. I didn't even really need it. I was still pretty thin as a rail. But then, you know, after college, just getting up slowly to, okay, 164. Now I'm in the 160s. Oh, this is different. And eventually, you know, by the time I got married, my husband, I'm like, whoa, 179. That's okay, more for me. And I was trying to take off weight before our wedding. And then, of course, having children, that's almost the most I'd ever weighed. You know, before I delivered my daughter, 208, whoa. And then it becomes a real serious weight journey. And then, you know, getting that weight off through various eating and exercising programs. And then when I was in my 40s, doing bikini competitions and learning to eat like protein. I could never truly get enough protein. Not like the bodybuilders want you to get so much protein, but I could. My body knew how to drop the weight. Like, my body knows how to lose 10, even 20 pounds in a month. It's amazing. But that was when I had a goal in mind. Like, when I had different fitness competitions, I was like, okay, for these 12 weeks, no alcohol, up the protein, stay away from sweets. And that was my motivation. Let's see how great I can make my body, and doing 2-a-days in the gym and, you know, training and all that, and strength training. Yeah, that was cool for that period of time, just to see, oh, how good of a shape can I get in? But that part of my life feels like it's over. So now something more practical in my 50s, like, okay, this is helping me. Whatever it's doing in the brain, in the gut, keeping us full, I love it. And now I'm like, okay, this can save me money. I can just, when I can, run over to Panera or wherever, or DoorDash something, and just grab a salad with some fruit and chicken in it maybe, and that's good enough. And I might not even finish the whole salad. I can have half of it for lunch, half of it for dinner, or half the next day, however it works out. And now I'm making up once again for all that junk I started eating when I went off Ozempic. I mean, the hunger did come back. I've never taken Ozempic. Okay, I've taken compounded Semaglutide. And when I went off of it, the hunger did come back. And I don't know why I couldn't go back on it with the injections. I don't know why it made me so sick. I don't think they changed anything in the formula. It was the same pharmacy, everything the same local doctor. It was something about, I mean, this is all kind of an experiment, even though these peptides have been around forever, helping people forever. If you're the type who really researches it, and if you don't just look at the headlines like, it's gonna cause blindness and stomach paralysis, and you know, if you really deeply research it, I mean, you still do it at your own risk. You have to talk to your doctor about it. Your doctor has to know your specific conditions. It helps if you know your own blood work. You be led by the Lord if it's meant for you to take it. But I really think this is a godsend again, and hopefully I can just maybe stay on it a little longer if I need to than 8 months, or because it's a real easy routine, just having it by my bedside, popping it under my tongue early in the morning, letting it dissolve. That's fine. And the best part is I'm just not sick. I hate feeling that nauseated feeling, and it hasn't given me that at all. So I pray that really continues, and I just keep with tracking the weight loss, tracking how I'm feeling. Now that I think about it, have my dreams changed? I don't know. I did take a nap, I think Sunday afternoon, so I was like, ooh. But previously, I think it really made my dreams more intense. So maybe that might be. We'll see if that continues. And just helping me foster these good habits. So now when the thoughts of food come, because the thoughts of food will still come, then it's almost immediately like I do a gut check, like, oh, I'm not hungry. Find something else to do. Got tons of email to get through. I have many reports or, you know, video scripts to research, see what the next case I want to write about is. There's so much to do besides going back and forth to the kitchen and grabbing some snack, and just, it was more mindless eating, but also whatever the chemical makeup or whatever it is that makes us crave stuff that we know isn't necessarily really good for us or that we don't want. That's what immediately switches, and that's what I love. Like, I'm not grabbing handfuls of little Hershey's miniatures and grabbing those, or grabbing some Cheetos, or even the potato chips. I'm not just in there grabbing it while I'm working, and it's not necessary. And I can't fully describe what the heck the semaglutide does. I mean, I've gone over it, I've read so much on it, watched so many different opinions, different doctors, different lay people, folks who take it themselves. I've watched so much on it. And I still can't totally explain how it does everything it does. But I just know it's working for me. So I wanted to give you that long spiel, which I hope helps you. And it's just henrymeds.com is where I started. Henry, Henry, meds, MEDS.com. And I just saw the special on Facebook. Since you watched this video, you'll probably start getting ads for it too. So far, their customer service is great. You know, I just started with them. I read a lot about real users' experiences on Reddit. You know, somebody was like, oh, what do you guys think about this Henry Meds? Are they a scam or whatever? And a lot of people answered that person. They ended up deleting their thread, I guess, but a lot of people that answered, they were like, no, I'm doing great on Henry Meds. I've lost this, I've lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever. But I haven't read a lot of personal anecdotes about the dissolvables. So I've read, of course, a lot of people who have taken injections, and they talk, but now that these dissolvable tablets, sublingual tablets are out, I wanted to put my experience out here. And I've got to tell you too, I see on Reddit a few people who have taken these dissolvable sublinguals. They were saying, oh, that didn't work for me. You know, some people are like, weeks and weeks and weeks and nothing. I switched to the injections. So I don't know what your experience might be on them, but I wanted to put my experience out there. It's something maybe about my body that really takes well to semaglutide and compounded semaglutide, and now takes really well to the sublinguals. And it's not like it's necessarily going in our stomachs. It's under the tongue, and as I understand it, that's absorbed through the mouth membranes, which is working for me. It's not like swallowing it. That's why it's a different dose, and it has to be, I guess, stronger to counteract our stomach acids. I don't swallow those pills. And when I did do the injections, I would always do them in the stomach, and that was really effective, and way too effective, I guess, when I started to get back on it a few months ago. Just way too sick. But now with these, maybe through the mouth membranes might be the perfect mix for me, because it's already really working. Trips me out how it works for me, like immediately. I feel the change immediately. So thank God he gives us the desires of our heart, because he knew I wanted to nip this in the bud. I knew I gained a lot of weight back, and I didn't want to like, oh, let me gain all it back and even more. No, I was like, let's nip it in the bud. This is helpful. You know, we just got to come against the critics who don't have necessarily insulin resistance or have any issues. Some people just don't necessarily have an issue. They might not have the same cravings you do, or that, I don't know how to describe it, that feeling. Maybe different people don't need semaglutide. I just know it's very helpful to me. Praise God for it. So if you're wondering about Henry meds, they're working for me. If you're worrying or wondering about sublingual semaglutide tablets compounded with vitamin B6, that probably helps too, thrown in there. I saw there's some other, I think a few other places that are doing the sublingual tablets, but I can't vouch for them because I haven't tried them. Thank the Lord above, in Jesus' name, this is working. So I'm just gonna kind of keep going. I haven't really told anyone but you guys kind of that I'm back on this, and I'm just want to see where it goes, and I'm very grateful to where it goes. Once I started this time, I was 200. Like previously I gotten up to 212. I lost all the way down, whatever 54 pounds minus that is. Okay, and then once I got off the injections, I started regaining. So what was it, Sunday morning, I think it was, maybe Saturday morning, whatever. When I started this tablets, I weighed like 200 pounds. This morning I weighed 196. So again, that's 4 pounds in just 3 days. And of course, I don't know if I'll do the whole 20 pounds in a month like I did before, but whatever the weight loss is, you know, that rate won't continue. We don't want to lose that fast. We do want to lose at a healthy rate that's maintainable and sustainable. And that's what the doctor was saying. There was this other doctor talking about semaglutide, and he was saying how the exercise is for the maintenance. The exercise isn't even for the weight loss. He was quoting some study. So it's like we use the semaglutide to help, I guess, control whatever it does with the insulin and the peptides and the GLP and the body and all that, and our eating habits and all that. And for the maintenance is the exercise. We're not using the exercise to try and lose the weight, if that makes sense. I don't know. I watch everything I can almost that interests me about semaglutide. You know, I find that mainstream media, of course, it's real popular to have on the headlines, oh no, Ozempic face, Ozempic butt, Ozempic this, Ozempic is changing that. It's fascinating the way it'll change the plastic surgery industry. It's having an effect on so many industries. And to not take it lightly, there was that woman who took, for some reason, her doctor had her on Ozempic and Saxenda at the same time, which is really like weird. It's too much. And she was in the UK maybe and lost her life. So I feel sad for people like that. So we can't take it lightly, but we do our research and definitely talk to your doctor. This has been a blessing and a boon to me, and we'll see where it goes from here. I just thank the Lord for it, and I'll keep you guys updated. You know, I don't know how often I'll create videos, but I'll just try and jump on here when I can, and whatever I think of, random things, show you my progress and we can just see how we're all progressing along with this. And, you know, it's a means of helping each other out, especially since I haven't seen much online about the sublingual tablets. So, best wishes to you in your weight loss journey. God loves you. Thanks for watching.